Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the breakdown. I'm Austin Johnson,
And I'm Drew Covington.
and we have our first guest on the pod, a fellow Scripps major and a fellow Hamptonian. We got Jeremiah Williams, man. Jerry, how are you, man?
Appreciate you having me, fellas. I'm doing good. How y'all doing?
Doing solid, man.
Good, good.
Doing solid. Lots of sports this
I'm
weekend.
kind of,
Yes, lots
yeah.
of sports.
Lots of
Got the
sports this weekend.
finals. Stanley Cup just finished up, so you
Yeah.
know some
Are you
winners have been
tapped into the
crowned.
World Cup?
Yeah. So actually, the World Cup was here in Atlanta today. So traffic was
Mm,
really bad. Traffic
wow,
was, but
that's major though because like soccer is like well football is like it's coming down this way in the U.S. where obviously it's usually international, so that's good to see it expand.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it is.
most
Like
definitely.
people don't, people in America, like people who came from overseas, they're mad at Americans for not caring as much, but like that's just kind of how it is around here. It's
Yeah, it's
not
personal
the
for
top
them,
dog,
right?
especially when the finals are on.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But we're gonna definitely talk about the finals, the NBA finals in a little bit. We got to
Okay.
talk about how the Spurs just
You know what's funny? You know what's really funny? So I started writing my article about the finals, about like reviewing the finals. I'm 700 words in.
Hmm.
At least 500 of those words are dedicated to De'Aaron Fox. I'm so serious.
Wow, 700 words are dedicated to
I'm
De'Aaron Fox.
700 words in. I haven't even got to like, because I want to hit 3 points with the Spurs. I haven't even got to the 2 points. Most of it so far is just De'Aaron.
That's crazy you say that because I just saw a TikTok of a guy. He was calling the police. He was calling the San Antonio police about De'Aaron Fox. They were like, "What do you want us to do? Talk to the Spurs?" He was like, "Okay, copy, bet." So,
I bet that whole article is just slander.
mm.
No,
Apparently,
no, no,
Apparently,
no,
Devin
no,
Harper
no, no, no.
needs to play.
I try to be objective. I try. I don't always succeed, but I really try. And at least I state my biases.
That's fair. That's
Mhm.
fair. So you
I
gotta
That
do
said
is
I,
that.
true.
I
That is
opened the
true.
De'Aaron Fox like thing. I opened the section with, yeah. So since the beginning of the season, I've wanted De'Aaron Fox off this team.
Wow,
That's
Um,
that's
passionate.
passion.
I mean, I didn't say it directly like as that, but I said like literally since they played the Mavs in October, I wanted him to be. I thought that he should be traded.
Well,
Yeah,
But
that's hard for them.
I'm glad to be vindicated, though. I'm glad to be right. It's one of those things. You got to take the small wins where you can.
I'm just sad, bro, because watching him at Kentucky, that is not the same guy.
it's
Like,
not.
it's night and day. Like,
And we
He's
can
still
get
a
fast
guy from
though.
Kentucky,
He's
he
he's
is.
still
And
fast.
I
It's
will
just
say
like
he was
some of his
definitely
shots
hurt.
aren't hitting.
Yeah. And I do think he was hurt. So I cut him a little bit of slack for that. But,
A
man,
mustard seed.
yeah, because he
I
still
can't.
played bad
I
regardless.
can't.
But, man,
I can't. I can't.
that's
I
just,
can't.
it's disappointing to see, especially with them being up by 10 every game. Like, if I was a real
Every
Nah,
Spurs
game.
nah.
fan, if that was my team, I would be going through it. Because no way you just
Chat, we
blew it
can't
like that.
talk
And you got
about
to
it
go through
all now.
OKC again next
Yeah. And that's tough, but we can't talk about it all now. You know what I'm saying? We got to get there. We got to get there. So
year. We got you.
um,
Viewers, be patient. We're gonna talk about Jerry's career first. He was a former tennis player on the Hampton University team as well, and we kind of want to ask you some questions just about your journey. Like, what
Cool.
went into your decision of going to Hampton for both undergrad and also graduate school as well?
Where so like I and it's crazy. I was thinking about that journey the other day. So originally the three schools that I wanted to go to were Clemson. This is crazy. Clemson, Hampton, Howard, and Temple. And I obviously knew I wanted to go to get my undergrad in journalism communications. And I originally like my number one was Temple. I remember like being a high school applying. Granted, I didn't have the best grades in high school, but they were still pretty decent. And I remember getting that denial letter from Temple University, and I was really hurt because like that was number one because obviously that's in Philly, close to New York, close to DC. Like those two sides of the spectrum are like very big in the media world if we think about it today. So with that, also I knew I wanted to play tennis. I knew Temple was a better school. I knew that if I went to Temple, I wouldn't have the opportunity to get time or develop because you're always dealing with top recruits. You know what I mean? Whereas Hampton, it's like okay, they're solid, but you have a chance to play right away. So I knew that like the best option was Hampton University for my undergrad experience. And even to this day, I'm glad I made the best decision with that. Okay, transition into grad school is crazy. And we'll obviously touch on this. I feel like, I was applying for different grad schools. I wanted to go to a different school because obviously I wanted a different experience. I was at Hampton for 4 years. Okay, great. Let's try something different. Let's get into another realm of life, somewhere different. I was looking at North Florida, Columbia, some other schools. Just looking, didn't even apply yet. Just looking, just trying to venture out. And it was crazy. I was in the cafeteria and Shane was like, "Yo, like, how do you feel about taking Sabre Sports to another level?" I was like, that's interesting. I was like, the only way that could happen is if I stayed. So, which was crazy is because I stayed and we ended up, getting on TV, obviously talking about the show. And that kind of like made the show like, it kind of went to another level. It was there, but it just went elevated. You know what I mean? Got on billboards, was on WGNT Channel 27 every Sunday at 10 a.m. That was amazing. That happened during my grad school years. So essentially, it was all worth it because I was able to get that experience. I was able to get that hands-on experience in my realm, my career, and my major. And I think that's what kind of like propelled me to stay. So that was literally the only reason.
Wow,
It's incredible.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I have an expansion question, kind of about like tennis, as
Yeah.
far as in the world of college sports. Do you? It's like, you see in football and basketball how the transfer portal has such a heavy effect on
Yes.
those two sports. Is it the same way in tennis as well?
It is, but I know some people like in regards to transferring, they transfer because they feel like they can go bigger, and that's not always the case. Because say, for instance, right, you see a guy from the CAA tennis, right? He goes from say just hot. Let's just use an example from Hampton to a SEC school. You see it a lot in basketball. You see for Hampton to maybe say like Texas. You're transferring obviously better gear, better resources, better competition, more structured practices. But are you going to see the court? That's no, because you're competing against all internationals that are younger than you, that are even better. They're stronger, faster, have a bigger serve. You have also transfer, so you're competing with more. Where if you stay, you have an opportunity to develop, get better, get playing time, and make impact. So in a sense, it is the same, but it really isn't because most of the time these guys aren't getting playing time. Like say if you start number one at Hampton, right? You go to Texas, probably not playing. That's the thing. Do you want to play or do you want to play or ride the bench? That's the thing. And I look at that like I want to play, I want to develop. I don't want to sit. I worked my career off for 20 something years. I don't want to sit the bench. You know what I mean? So that's how you have to really be like as an athlete. Like you have to be real with yourself. And we see a lot of times in athletes, and I watch it. It's like, bro, like you're good where you are. You have one breakout year. Do it again, and then transfer. Don't do it 1 year and then go. Let me see consistency first, and then let's see if you can dominate to another level. Well, oftentimes that's not the case.
Yeah, you do see it a lot with certain people that kind of get overzealous with what their talents are or
Yeah.
just basically their opportunities. And that's definitely a sad thing to see, especially in like football. There's only
Mm-hmm.
so many people that can fit on a roster. Like I think when I did my capstone project, I was doing research
Uh-huh.
on at the start of January when the window opened. There were 10,000 football players that entered the portal.
How
Like
many?
not enough, 10,000.
10,000.
Oh boy.
So like, and
Like
it's
let's be real here though. And you got to also look at like position and size. Like I understand size in sports. Like say for football, right? Like say if you're like, and I'm not saying like, oh, if you're 5'10", 5'11", you're not gonna do good. But if you're a 5'11" wide receiver coming from an HBCU going to a Power Five, those guys are usually 6'2", 6'3". You're getting jammed off the line right away. Like let's just be real. You're strong in this conference, but there's another level of being strong in the SEC. In the
you really
Big
gotta
Ten,
get used to it.
even the A10, like just there's levels to each conference, and you have to understand like where you fit and how you dominate that conference, so you can propel to the next level.
I
Yeah,
agree.
you really gotta be a
So,
unicorn like, at specific, positions, maybe
Yeah.
like to move up. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, man.
yeah, and I feel like playing, even though it was D2 for 2 years, playing football in college, it definitely showed me that there are levels, and there
Yeah.
are certain guys that will, you'll see like they had D1 either offers or they went from D1 to D2. It's like it's really
Mm-hmm.
levels to this, and like you learn really fast like why you didn't make it to the league or why
Yeah.
someone does.
But you have to be okay with that. Like as athletes,
Yeah.
and I've realized this. I'm glad I wasn't one of these athletes. I knew obviously, I played tennis in different, different states. I played people from different countries. I played on different surfaces. Granted, like the goal obviously is pro, but you have to be real. Like you're kicking out all this money for it to be like, and you're not going nowhere. You know what I mean? So then you're wasting your time, and everybody, everybody's just not an athlete. Like, you have to go to school for a degree because that being an athlete all your life is just not going to work. You're going to be in your 40s one day. You can't do the same thing you did at 23. So you have to realize as an athlete, it's time to hang it up, get into your career. You have to do it at a certain time. And I don't want to. I'm trying to be respectful. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people in football that declare for the draft, and obviously they know they're not getting drafted, and it's okay. You don't get drafted, bro, but you have to realize how to transition into that degree side of things or something else. Or you can stay in football, just know like you're not about to be on playing on Sunday night. You can be coaching. There's other ways to enter the game without actually being on the field.
Yeah, one of my
Yeah.
favorite quotes, in like sports history, and it's a soccer quote. Like
Mm-hmm.
Jamie Carragher is on like CBS, and he's like, I have this saying, leave the football before the football leaves you. And it's like it's super funny. 'Cause he's like, I think the football's left him at this top level. And like, yeah, I do think that awareness as an athlete. Obviously, I didn't play at that level. I ran
Mm-hmm.
track in high school, and I had like D1 interest, but no like official offer or anything. But like, I've seen athletes, come from my school, and not have that self awareness of like, okay, this dream is not as much as a reality as I thought it would be. How do I pivot? That occurrence doesn't take place, and so they're
Right.
kind of lost.
At that point, right? Like you may be lost for like 8, 10 years, and that's like, man. Now I'm 38. I'm still trying to like. Granted, it's okay to figure out life. Not saying that's not, but like you could have realized you could have transitioned at 23, figured out life because everybody figures out life at all different times. Not blaming nobody, shaming nobody. Everybody has a different story, but you could have pivoted earlier and understood reality and got to it a different way instead of still holding on at 31. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
So.
agree. And I think people, not as many, I think now you see it more, but not as many athletes in the past had prepared for life after their sport. And they were
Mm-hmm.
kind of, you would see them be lost and they might fall into the wrong things. Now you
Yeah.
have guys like, you said pivot, like Ryan Clark, for instance. They started a whole media brand. And most people now know him just for doing ESPN and podcasting.
Yeah.
But if you looked at
It,
his tape, he was
Not that
headhunting.
he was
bro,
like,
he was head hunting. He was a dog. Literally, like
Yeah,
if you look up his highlights, bro, like you'll realize, see, like they changed the rules because of guys like him, James Harrison. Like, but people
right.
forget Ryan Clark was an athlete, but now he's in that space. Like, we don't want to think of Ryan Clark, the football player. We think of Ryan Clark, the analyst, the one who has the suit that matches the home team with the RC pin. Like, people don't know about that. You know
the
what I mean?
RC pin, the
So
RC.
it's he's changing the game up now. So, and I credit him for that because it's like, bro, you did your thing. Well, first, his story is incredible because he wasn't drafted. He did what he had to do. He did what he did, won a Super Bowl, and he's entering this game and dominating like that even more than football.
I
So,
agree. It's definitely a testament to how good he is, both as just as a creator and how I guess how he can captivate and cultivate an audience on
hmm
ESPN as well. And
right,
yeah, you got to respect it.
you
You
got
might not
to.
like his takes, but he's on your TV a lot.
Yeah, no, he is everywhere you go.
Um, My next question, just
Mhm.
kind of want to get your insight and point of view. What was your experience like as an HBCU athlete, especially on not as many people know a college tennis player. So I'm curious to hear that experience was like.
It was amazing, bro. It was unique. It kept number one. It kept me disciplined. Like we went to Hampton University. Like we know the ratio. Like we know that there's a lot of beautiful women. There's a lot of beautiful women at Hampton University. I think with tennis it kept me disciplined because I still was able to have the fun, but I also had the balance with tennis. You know what I mean? I definitely did miss out on events. Of course, certain darties I wish I was able to go to, but I wasn't able to because I had practice. But I still made time for fun things. I just had to understand balance. I think with the HBCUs, like when I used to say oh, I play tennis. Like, what? You play tennis? It's just like a shock because you don't see a lot of brothers that play tennis. And then they question like, how'd you get into that? And then I literally explained like, my mom put me in every sport. I couldn't sit down in class. I didn't have a problem. I like to be active. I like to run. I still like to run. Put me in tennis. I was just good at it naturally, like moving, cross. It's just so many things I was just good at within tennis, and I just kept with it. And I took it to another level with playing at universities, playing tournaments every other week, missing out on certain things. Like I sacrificed my weekends in the younger days so I could play tennis. I used to embrace waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, walking from Orchard Hall to Holland for weight room, and then getting on the tennis court, then going to the calf. That's the experience. You know what I mean? I look at that. It was a job, but it's an experience as well. So like from that point of view, man, like it was just amazing. I wish also too, like with that, sometimes with the resources at HBCUs, the tennis courts sometimes were messed up, so we weren't able to have a lot of home matches. But other than that, like I miss it and I would not trade it for the world.
I think
That's good to
I got a
hear.
follow up.
I'm glad. I respected that you said that you liked waking up at 5 a.m.
Yeah, and you know I still do, AJ. I wake up, go run, go lift. You feel me? I've always been that way, and it's just
For
like
sure.
even now, that's just structure, man. Like, structure.
I understand it because I'm kind of the opposite. We had to
Mm-hmm.
practice at 5 a.m. I
Uh,
can't do that anymore, man. We were in full pads on the field getting ready to get
right.
hit at 5 a.m. I don't know
Wicked.
that at times it give me PTSD waking up that early.
Yeah, and it's crazy though because I didn't even share this. Like, literally, my second practice, my freshman year, bro, I was in the hospital because I had a full body like I got kidney issues. I had like a full body cramp. I was feeling my heart like, and I was in James, laid out on the floor, and that was like my first ever like tennis HBCU experience. I remember getting carted out in the hospital. Like there was times where like I almost died on the court. Like you know what I mean? Like it's one of those things. It's tennis, but it's also like it's personal. You know what I mean? So
Nah, it sounds like you had a very fun time just from like
yeah, yeah,
looking at it as an
yeah.
athlete. Then definitely at Hampton because I will say I'm glad I went to Hampton. Not only for the connections, but I know there's a lot of people that, especially black people who don't go to HBCU, they just don't have the experience that we do. So
Right.
I really do appreciate that. My
Mm-hmm.
next question following up to that, what are like some common misconceptions that people see or hear about tennis players?
Hmm. Oh, about tennis play. Oh, it's easy. You're really not doing much. But I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. Do you realize like I'm running back and forth, up and down for maybe 3, 4 hours in the heat? Like, there's really no like break. I'm not even saying like football. Like you get a little breather after a play. Tennis is like right back to it. You know what I mean? So I would say like, oh, like they're not really fit. Like, it's a lot into it. They just don't see the work. They just look at, oh, I can do it. But no, can you really hit a serve 115 miles per hour, then return it, then scramble back and come to that volley? It goes over your head. It's just so many like different skills, like with your hands, your feet, ball placement, spins on the ball. Like nobody really understands that because they don't play the game. You know what I mean? So that's like the biggest misconception. And at that point, it's like, okay, people said, I'm like, all right, cool, I'll let you talk. But like at that point, let me give you the racket since you know what I mean. Let me give you. You play me. Let's see how it goes.
Right.
it's not gonna go well. I guarantee. If somebody don't know how to play. So
I have
those are
a
the
follow-up
biggest.
question, if you don't mind.
Uh huh.
Um,
Yeah.
so like, obviously you talked about how like, when you're specifically going up to black people, it's like, when you say, oh yeah, I play tennis, it's like, oh yeah, how did you get into that? And like,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, I keep up with tennis very loosely, and obviously, I know of Francis Tiafoe,
Yeah.
black tennis. I think he's ranked within the top 20. Um,
DC native too. DC native. Yep.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I want to ask, along with him, what other tennis players, do you keep track of, and also, how active are you when it comes to keeping track of tennis, the tennis world in general?
So I'm still. I'm obviously I'm not playing on that high level no more because I'm done school. But I still watch the game. It's still important to me. It's still because at some point, like I still want to coach. Like it's
Mm,
crazy. After I graduated for my master's, 3 weeks later, they asked me to come back to coach for YDP, which is a program they host for high school students. I was able to coach younger kids just to spread the knowledge. So I'm always keeping up with it because I still want to play. I still want to be informed, just to have conversation. Possibly possibly work for the tennis network one day. Who knows? So I definitely watch that.
yeah. So Jeremiah, you talked about, how being black and playing tennis, there's a lot of questions asked, and obviously Francis Tiafoe, who you
Yeah.
mentioned from DC, is
Mm-hmm.
ranked within the top 20. What are some players that you still, pay attention to within, tennis, and like who are some players that you look out for?
Yeah, so like obviously Francis is solid on. I've watched him improve so many times. It's amazing to see his game just like go to another level. But some of the players I look at now are obviously Francis Tiafoe. I've always watched Gael Monfils. Ben Shelton's a good one. Casper Ruud when he wants to be wants when he wants to do his thing. I watch him. Carlos Alcaraz, Yannick Sinner, like those guys are the top of the top right now. Watching the game, it's just like amazing how it's going to a different level. Even from when I was a baby, like it continues to grow, and I love how the game is elevating. It's becoming more like fans are wanting to go watch tennis. Whereas before, people would just be looking left and right. Now it's like, oh, like, he really just did that. They're bringing that flash to it now, which I like, which I think the game needs.
Mm.
What do you think it would take for someone to I wouldn't say mainstream because
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely like when the French or US Open is on, like that's on ESPN all day. What would
Yeah.
you say is needed for tennis to be just more popularized in a way? Would it need to be like a polarizing figure, you think, like
Hmm.
a Serena Williams type level from
Yes.
America?
You said from the U.S. or
I'd say from the US just because to get more US fans in. Like I bet
Ooh.
with Nadal and like Federer or even Djokovic,
Mm-hmm.
the people from
International.
their home countries are definitely more tapped in than let's say
Yeah.
Americans.
I think Ben Shelton is the guy that's gonna, and Francis are the guys that's like really gonna take it, bring it more popular to the U.S. But like they've got to start winning these major tournaments. Like granted, they're winning ATP 500, 250s, but like I want to see you win the big four, which is Australian Open, Wimbledon, French, and U.S. Open. Like if they can start winning those tournaments a little bit more, getting farther, like they get pretty far quarterfinal semis, but like you got to win it. If they can win it, now we're talking because now the U.S. really wants to watch because it's somebody like, okay, we can put his bid in and we know he'll win. We don't know that right now because guess what? They're still dealing with a Djokovic, a Sinner, a Carlos Alcaraz. So it's like we got to get it done. It's just when are we going to get it done? That's the problem.
Mm.
And definitely I've been more tapped in to tennis
Yeah.
since my sophomore year of college
Okay.
because the summer after my sophomore year, I coached a little kids tennis camp.
Uh huh.
So I've been watching, I never played, but
Mm-hmm.
I was a good enough athlete where I could make it work and teach
Yeah.
5 to 11 year olds. But
Oh,
actually seeing
that's a tough one though because them 5 to 11 they don't stop moving.
no, they don't. Man, it really tested my patience. I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
I was this close to cursing out a little kid. It was like trying to
Yeah.
but like I would say seeing like the levels of from like obviously just being a good athlete to the
Hmm.
pros, just from someone who's a casual fan, I can see that. But as, in every sport, there's an indicator of like, okay, there's levels to this, like from a college athlete to the pros. What would you say that is as far as tennis, like where it's like it's a separator?
It's a separator. Hmm.
Yeah.
That's tough because sometimes college players look like amazing professional tennis players, and they get to the pros, and it's like, oh, who are you now? So I'd say one thing is definitely like your hand skills, just placement on the ball, understanding the court. Second, obviously, you have to have a big serve. You're a male, so you should be serving at least 135, 140. Not everybody's doing that. So I'd say like really like your fitness, ball placement. How can you win efficiently? And that's the difference. Like some guys can just win gritty. You have to grind, but some guys are just efficient in how they win and how they do things and how they place the ball. I think that's what separates a lot of tennis players because everybody can hit hard. Like I can hit hard,
Mm.
cool. But if he's placing it better and still getting spin and has strategy, that's what separates me from maybe an ATP level player. So,
And on average, like how fast is a serve in like college compared to the pros? You said 135 to
I
140 for
mean,
the pros.
so some guys in like college can hit 140. I'm sure. Like it's just like the placement of it. Like you can hit down to T 140, you can hit body 140, but like if you can hit a slider that's like 115, a slider is something that like goes away from your body, if that makes sense. Like you can't. It's hard to reach it. Like you're constantly moving back and forth trying to reach. I'd say you can get like I could serve. I served like I think the highest I served was like 115, 118, and that's solid. That's really fast. That's really
Yeah.
fast. But a guy like Ben Shelton can serve 140. I may be able to touch it, but like okay, I touch it. He has an easy slam. Boom, point is over. So it's really how you do it. So
I did not know the ball was moving that fast. The
yeah, bro. The
reaction
ball.
time for that has to be on the level of like baseball players, really,
Yeah,
seeing how the ball moves and the change in the air.
you can't
That's
you
crazy.
can't take back. You got to just forward go. Point. Let's go. There's preparation, but you can only prepare so much. That's what I'm saying. Like you had the hands of a tennis player are so like quick. It's unbelievable.
I'm learning on the pod, man. This is why this
Learn
pod
on
is
the
making me learn.
pod.
Last question. Just
Hmm.
now that now that you've graduated from Hampton with both your bachelor's and master's, what are your plans in the future? I know you said that you do want to get into coaching one day.
Hmm.
Just what are your plans as far as also journalism and just going down the coaching journey as well?
So I feel like I guess I'll start with the coaching. I would coach a little kid here and there. It's not like it wouldn't be like a full time. Oh, I want to get into coaching full time. I would just coach on the side to obviously help because obviously I know kind of what it takes to get to Division 1, and there's certain things you need to have like certain skills, certain fitness, certain just attributes to get to that level. Obviously, I can do that. I wouldn't want to coach a college team. That's just not what I want to do. But somebody on the side, probably like an elite program, elite performance, I would do that. Uh, Transitioning to the journalism side, obviously the goal would be like color commentary.
Mm.
So it wouldn't have to be just like reporting. Everybody thinks, oh, you got to report. Color commentary, production, like that's the thing. Sports are so like broad, and y'all know this. Like sports are so broad. It's like you have to get your foot in. You have to get your foot in the door. You don't just start. Oh, let me be on ESPN. No, you got to start a local news. You got to start at a sports company behind the scenes. Let's get those skills first because the speaking part is easy. The stats is easy, but if you can do the things that nobody wants to do, then you're more valuable. And it's crazy. You know who said that? Dr. Ford. Dr. Ford has always said like be valuable in the marketplace, and that's what I'm doing. So it's definitely like the goal is color commentary, but I'm the production side and creating and running the board is something that I take pride in as well, and also doing research.
Mm.
Shout out to Dr. Ford, man.
Shout out to Jeff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, definitely an eccentric guy, but good friend and definitely a good teacher.
Yeah, for
Just a
sure.
yapper.
Yep.
Um, Drew, do you have any other questions?
Nah, man. Nah, man. I just think that like, what you want to do within, I really do find athletes that understand of like, okay, cool, this is how I want to pivot. This is how I want to, continue to stay within this lane and do this thing. And
Right.
they understand it at a specific time. I think that's just really impressive. I think that there's a lack of awareness with this, generation with
Yeah.
that. So I think it's incredible that you found that and you found what you want to do post, being an athlete. So
Mm-hmm.
incredible.
And it's got to be like, and I'll say this because obviously I know how like the world is today. Like getting transitioning from sports to the real world, it's like you have to adjust quick. Like you can't just graduate and like, oh, let me start looking. Like you have to do it within your season. Like I remember like my last season, I was looking for jobs like early because they obviously we know they take a long time to respond.
Yep.
You got it or you don't. So like you have to start early. Like for athletes, like if your season ends in like say for instance basketball, you need to start applying. Like if you're done hooping, like you need to start applying early because you got to figure out what's next. You can't
Mhm.
just can't sit on your butt and like, dang, it's over. Granted, it's over, but how are we going to still be great in other fields? You know what I mean? So,
Man, I respect that. Actually, what was what was COVID tennis like?
bro, so it was good though for me because I got extra 2 years of eligibility, bro. I was literally like, that's when I started going to a academy, bro, and that's when I went from like good to great, bro. Like, I was on another level.
Mm,
Like, it just was locked in. It was just straight push-ups, tennis. I got stronger. I was always skinny, but I got some muscle on me, natural
mm.
muscle. I just started becoming a beast, man. Like I just think COVID helped me because the world was closed off, no distraction. It was just me, tennis, the TV, push-ups, and a treadmill. That's all I needed.
Mm.
I felt the same way. I feel like a lot of people in high school sports definitely took the jump. Like the guys who were like relying on their athleticism, if they weren't like the top guys who really had it, they fell off. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that definitely gave me like a an edge because it was the same way. I was only time I'd leave the crib was to go work out with either one
Yeah,
of my teammates or work out with my trainer. Besides that, I was in the crib.
I was in the crib chilling, bro, watching LeBron win his championship in the bubble.
Man, shout out, Goat James. That's a
Shout
great
out to
segue. Great segue, actually. Now, I'll let you guys go first.
Okay, Drew, you start.
Um,
You start.
Okay.
what
Um.
are your thoughts on the NBA Finals? The Knicks
Okay.
beat the Spurs 4-1 as the Spurs had led in all 5 games by at least 10 points. And yeah, I know Drew has his thoughts as well. So you have the floor, man.
Yeah, so I'm like the resident I'm the resident Victor Wembanyama fan. I'm the resident Victor Wembanyama, the head of the fan club, really. And I picked the Spurs to win this in 6 games. Going into the series, and I'm not gonna go game by game because that would just take too long. But going into the series, I understood that New York was a better offensive team by a wide margin. However, I didn't think New York would match San Antonio's defensive intensity and aggression. I was wrong on multiple fronts. I'm going to talk about three separate things, three things that I think are in it, like the reason as to why they lost this series. All those three things will be referenced in the article I'm going to drop this week about the series. But I want to start with De'Aaron Fox. I was told by multitude of people in my life, my brother, my father, my roommate, that De'Aaron Fox is needed on this team. Needed, necessary. Um, I don't think that's true. To be sure, I mean, like he was brought on this team for two reasons. He was brought on the team to mentor the young guards and be this team's closer. He won Clutch Player of the Year just 3 years ago when he was averaging 25 points per game and actually led the Sacramento Kings to a playoff appearance. Um, Guys, in this series, he was 34% from the field, in 5 games. He was
Say that
consistently
number again. Say the number again.
34% from the field, 29% from three.
Wow.
He was consistently outplayed by the two guys he's supposed to mentor. And when it came to closing, this is the only game I'm only going to bring up, only game I'm going to reference specifically. When it came to closing, game 4 is worse than what J.R. Smith did. I don't think that's an argument, and I don't think that's argument. J.R. Smith, it's game 1. Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? We got possibly another game, and then we go back home. You lose this game, you're down 3-1. You're down 3-1. You did the hard part. You forced Brunson to put up a tough shot, and he missed it. That's usually not gonna happen. So all you had to do was get the rebound, dribble it out, be the veteran that on the team. You decide to go up against all NBA defensive player OG Anunoby. He should be traded, and I think it's gonna be hard to trade him because that contract is so fucking large and stupid. But yeah, he should be traded. I think Dylan Harper should get more playing time, and I'm gonna get to that in a second. But yeah, I think he should be traded. I think he's a solid player, but man, I think he really does put a ceiling on how good this team can be. I think it's really as simple as that, especially with his age. He's now on the timeline. He's on the same timeline as the rest of these guys. I think he puts a ceiling on how good these guys can be. Victor Wembanyama, just straight up, was not as good as he needed to be in this series. He was not as good, specifically on the offensive end. I don't care what he does. A lot of people are saying, you're not KD, you're not X, Y, and Z. I don't care what he does, whether he decides to be Giannis or Kevin Durant. I don't care. What I do care, though, is that you need to, during this offseason, you need to, A, get better endurance. You can't be taking off entire quarters like that. You can't. And 2, develop some sort of consistent offensive game. The variation is too wide. You can't go from being regular season Chet Holmgren to Giannis Antetokounmpo. That you can't go from averaging 17 to then putting up 38 at will. That variance is too much, especially considering that, in my opinion, you're a top 2 player in basketball. You cannot do that. You needed to be better. In game 2, the turnover at the end, bad. Missing the free throws in game 4, bad. Straight
I
up.
sold my parlay.
Yeah.
Austin's parlay, bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still think he's obviously a fantastic player. I think he's the second best player on the planet. But you need to get to, if you want to be the guy, the face of the league, and he is the face of the league. He's not the best player, but he's the face. If you want to be the guy, though, the guy that wins, you need to develop as an offensive player. That needs to be your number one priority going into this offseason. And my last point is that Mitch Johnson is a coach. Now I'm not gonna go too crazy on him. I'm not gonna go too crazy on him because this is his first season fully coaching the Spurs. And I think he's going to be a fantastic coach. However, man, not playing Dylan Harper the way you did is actually criminal. He was the second best player on this team this entire playoff run consistently, and you deciding to play De'Aaron Fox over him in crucial moments, just genuinely. And also, a lot of people are going to talk about how Wemby blew a 30-point lead in a finals game. That's going to haunt his legacy for a very long time. But my response to that is, you do not, as a team, you do not set the record for most blown double-digit leads by one person. That's a coaching issue. Simple as that. Mitch Johnson is very just as raw as Wemby is on offense, and just as raw as Stephon Castle is, just as raw as Dylan Harper is. So is Mitch Johnson as a coach. So yeah, moving on to New York really quickly. New York, congratulations. You have one of the most dominant postseasons runs in NBA history. I think this is going to change the way a lot of people think about building championship teams, because this is a team that is a bunch of guys that they traded for, a bunch of guys that were given up on, a bunch of guys that were not seen as valuable put together. I think this should have an impact on how front offices view. Maybe we don't have to build a championship team through the draft. maybe we can put together a group of guys that are truly great together. I want to say shout out OG Anunoby. You are one of the most valuable players in basketball, man. I up until Game 5, I genuinely thought you were gonna run away with Finals MVP. You know that tip in, his shooting was incredible. Oh my lord, Jalen Brunson. I don't even know what to say. When Becky
I
Hammond made
got
her Yeah. When Becky Hammond made her statement just a few years ago, I completely agreed with it. I thought Becky Hammond was like, yeah, like, I don't think Jalen Brunson can be your guy. And he is the guy. He's the finals MVP. There's no other player in basketball today that you want that you want to have the ball in their hands with under 2 minutes left. There's no other player. And that's not me saying my brother was talking crazy. He said Jalen Brunson might be a top 5 closer ever. I said, wait. Now we're just saying words. Now we're just saying words.
You
But
tripping?
he is the best closer in basketball today. There's no one else in basketball who you'd like to have the ball in his hands. And I will say, I don't think Jalen Brunson is quote unquote proof that small guards can win. I do think Brunson is the exception to the rule. I think Jalen Brunson is just that good. And I think that this is just that good of a team. But man, New York, man, shout out Karl Anthony Towns, a guy who I doubted a decent amount of his career, but in the past 2 years has really impressed me as a player. Shout out Josh Hart, shout out Mikhail, what they said, F them picks. Hey man, I was like, wait, that might be a little bit too much for a guy who in the first round wasn't doing a lot. But since then he's really kicked it up. He's really, been a solid player, man. So New York, man, this is what an impressive feat. Straight up, this is an impressive feat. The fact that you built this team of a team just to be blanket, full of rejects, full of guys who were giving up on, and you built a championship team, a dominant championship team. Shout out that front office, man. Everyone except James Dolan. Shout out what I'm saying. What a great feat. So, they won in 5. They were the better team. They deserve to win, obviously, because I don't believe that, the team that wins usually is the one that deserves to win. I don't think that in sports there's otherwise that exists. So, man, oh man, a fantastic finals, man. Really entertaining. Shout out New York. I know they're happy. I know they're tearing stuff up. Parade's Thursday. I'm praying for my girlfriend, bro. She's in New York right now. I'm just like, yo, please be safe. Please be safe.
Yeah.
But man, shout out New York, man. What did we say? Brunson is the king of New York. He got it.
So that's you were preaching the gospel. You were preaching the gospel. And I will say this, like talking about New York, Jalen Brunson he's entered into a conversation that only 3 point guards have ever entered into. And that's being a small 1A guy on a championship team in the last 35 years. And though he's obviously Jalen Brunson in the conversation, he's the recent one. Steph Curry and Isaiah Thomas from the Bad Boy Pistons. And I think that with those 3 in this conversation, now you have to look at, man, maybe we can win with a smaller guard, but we have to surround him with guys around that can obviously take the ball, do what they have to do, and then be able to give it back so he's able to create, dish out, or even score on their own as well. Granted, I think the problem last year that they had was everything went through Jalen Brunson. No, now this year things went through Cat. You see OG, you see Mikal, you see Josh Hart sometimes bringing the ball up. They changed how they ran, how they understood, and how they ran the game of basketball in their offense. And I think that's what separated them the most, and that's why they won. Okay, we can go back to the Spurs side. looking at the Spurs, right? And because this would have been, we would have never talked about this, but now we have to talk about this because they lost. The way Wemby reacted versus beating the Thunder, that's a problem. There's no way you're crying in a Western Conference Game 7 when you haven't really done anything yet. He's great, but he hasn't done anything. And I think that was the problem. Like, they treated that as their finals. Where was that energy? Like, if you played even half as good, I thought you could have beat the Knicks. Not saying the Knicks were bad, but I don't think how they performed versus the Knicks is how they perform versus the Thunder. There was some grit. There was some oomph. It was personal for them. Like, I don't think this series was personal. I felt like, oh, we got it done with the Thunder, and now it's just like, okay, the New York Knicks, we got them. You can't go out like that. You know, De'Aaron Fox. I mean, you touched on him. He's looking bad right now. And I've always liked De'Aaron Fox, and I was very upset when the Lakers decided to draft Lonzo Ball over De'Aaron Fox. Like, it's just like, what are we doing? He looks horrible right
But
now
that was
because
gonna happen. He was from LA.
yeah, and it seems like it just like you said, like he shot 34%. Nothing was falling. His fadeaway jump shots. It wasn't even hitting the rim. It was hitting the bottom of the rim. Like it gets to a point, bro. Just go for the layup. Now talking about like him trying to go for the layup. What are you doing? Like we all know in 2K when you have a league like that, you try to dribble, get fouled. Just keep playing the free throw game. Eventually, somebody's gonna miss. Somebody's gonna drop the ball. It should be 3-2 right now. It should be 3-2. But because of you, now your series is over. Not thank you, De'Aaron Fox. This is what you do. And I'm not even a Spurs fan, but I'm thanking you because you ruined this for your team. With Victor, there's some things we have to discuss. And I think the biggest problem is how do you balance a double team? How do you get out of a double team? How do you react during a double team? I think that's the problem. He didn't know what he wanted to do. And granted, we can blame the young game, but okay, like this costs you some sort of title. I think what he has to do this summer is, get in the gym with, some of the big mans that are great, that know how to create their own spot, that know how to get to their own spot, like a Kevin Garnett, like a Dirk. You're with the Spurs. Tim Duncan's right up the street. So if they want to get back, because listen, and we didn't even talk about this, they're so young, they have to do it now before Castle, Vassell, and them, and Harper want to get other contracts somewhere else. Now the team is different. So their clock is ticking. Get back this year. Get back next year. Let's see what they do.
I couldn't agree more. I think first of all, almost called Mitch Johnson Darvin Ham, but that's who he
Wow.
was. He had
Oh,
his hands in his pockets for a lot of them leads like this. That was I couldn't imagine being a Spurs fan right now just because they were being up 10 points. And like I saw something on Twitter. A guy said, and this was during the OKC series,
uh-huh.
and he said a Spurs 15-point lead is the least threatening lead or the least threatening deficit your
Yep.
favorite team could ever have. And he
Wow.
was completely right.
Showed
And
it.
that and that was the day he said that on the day that they lost. They were up 15-0 against OKC, and they ended up losing that game by 20.
Yep.
And I didn't at the time I didn't think it was anything, but that was an indicator of how the finals went. They would always start very well and really just always come off the ball and really gunning. But when that second halfway through the second quarter hit, shots would stop falling, and then the Knicks would slowly just stay in the game, make timely shots. That's another thing. The Spurs never hit like timely shots. I feel like Julian Champagnie hit he like from a statistical perspective, he probably shot very well, and he made a good decent amount of shots. But it was never the one where it was like they're up seven, he's wide open, let's go up 10. It was just it wasn't the ones where you needed to like stick it in like a knife in their chest. They kept them breathing too long. And I think that's a key indicator of them being young, but also coaching because that game four is unacceptable. No
Mm-hmm.
matter how you slice it, no matter who you want to blame, you can blame Mitch Johnson, you can blame Wemby, you can blame Fox. That is a team effort. You're up 30 points. You cannot
Yep.
let that happen. And they scored 76 points in the first half. They ended the game with like 105. Yeah, 105. You scored 29 points in one half,
Yeah.
24 minutes of basketball. That is completely unacceptable. They
Horrible.
shot eight threes in a row. I get it. They were feeling hot. So like and they shot
Bro,
eight threes in a row. And I totally understand it. Like in the
no,
flow of the
no,
game, you're not gonna think, oh, I missed this many threes. But the
no.
coach should, and the coach should say, stop shooting the ball.
I
So
know something's a
there were
problem.
so many things you could look at and be like, that's why you guys lost.
I
Drew,
know
go ahead.
something's a problem. during that game, I know something's a problem when Dylan Harper and Stephon Castle were shooting that many threes. This is not a good shooting team. Y'all
They're
are
not the
not
Warriors.
only good shooters on this team. Devin Vassell and Champagny. The rest of you in the starting lineup, the third best shooter on that team is probably Victor Wembanyama. Victor Wembanyama is 7'4". Why are y'all
Very
taking this many
skilled shooter.
threes?
That was, I mean, I think they were doing it because they shot literally, they had a historic first half. So they were feeling themselves. But once the third quarter ended, they should have said, we got to reel this in and win the game. So, like, I don't know what happened in those timeouts where, like, they just folded completely. Like, and you made a good point too. Dylan Harper definitely should have played more. And he was in the game in the fourth quarter, but they would have him in the corner. If
Yep.
you see Fox, especially game five, he was 3 for 15. I get it.
Stop shooting the
Every
ball.
except for sure. It's an elimination game. But swing the rock or take him out the game, bro. 3 for 15 in an elimination game from a guy you're paying over $50 million is ridiculous. And you have his backup is outplaying him, and he's 20 years old. Ridiculous. Then Mitch Johnson said, De'Aaron Fox will have the ball at the end of the game. Now, Mitch, do you really think that was a good choice? Like, and going to Wemby now. Wemby, I agree with you both completely. He needs a move or something where he can get to consistently,
Hmm.
where if they need a bucket, they can give him the ball. Like bigs like Jokic, even Giannis, they have a way of scoring when their team needs to score,
Yep.
especially Jokic. When the Spurs needed a bucket, like in those times when the Knicks are coming back, which was every game in the series, if they needed a bucket, they weren't. They would try to go to Wemby. He wouldn't have like a move. He wouldn't have a spot he would go to, and that really that really messed him up. And if it wasn't for Stephon Castle in Game Three hitting that whole
Oh
possession,
yeah.
I think you know what I'm talking about. That
Oh yeah.
grenade that Wemby threw to him, and he hit at the end of the shot clock. If he didn't hit that shot, they probably would have gotten swept because I don't
Yeah.
think they would have won the game if he misses that.
Yeah.
So it definitely is experience, but as a team, I did think that the Spurs are better. I don't think that the Knicks would have. If OKC had won the Western Conference Finals, I don't think the Knicks are NBA champions. I really don't.
Hmm.
Especially if J-Dub played. Like, I don't think that. Now, for the Knicks, I will give them a lot of credit. Shout out to Jalen Brunson, Illinois basketball product for sure. He definitely hooped, and he proved a lot of people wrong. He's definitely in some conversations when it comes to point guards that a lot of people haven't done for sure. And 45 points in an elimination game, he had basically half the points in that game. You
Yeah.
got to give them all the credit. OG Anunoby hooped
Solid.
his ass off.
Solid.
He played great. And oh, speaking of OG, why did all 5 games did they try him at the rim? They should have known. Dylan Harper did it like 3 times in one game. None of those shots went in. I'm not going up against OG, which makes the Fox play in game 4 even crazier. Because, of course, like you said, the veteran presence. And he said, I thought I was faster than him. You have been hurt for the last month and a half.
Not faster
Like,
than. Yeah.
you're not faster than him right now. Sacramento Fox, Kentucky Fox, for sure. This
Yeah.
current and what is it, June 15th, 2026. That De'Aaron
29 year
Fox
old
is not
Fox.
faster than OG Anunoby. And regardless, if you made the bucket, cool. But the fact that you didn't, and all you had to do was hold the ball and get fouled, and you had automatic free throws from that, makes it just look so much worse because you're on the team to be the smart guy and have the clear head and the level head. So like all those things come into just a big disaster as far as the San Antonio Spurs 2026 finals experience. Shout out to the Knicks. I'm happy for the Villanova guys. I'm happy for Brunson. I didn't think they could do it, but they played really well. Jalen Brunson, he really did his thing. He definitely showed his ass that whole series. And
Shout out
even
to
when
the
he
Knicks.
wasn't shooting well, he was getting. I said, I'm getting my 30. Like
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
yeah, yeah.
He gonna
care.
get his.
Yeah.
He gonna get
He could take
his.
30 shots. I'm getting 30. I'm not the reason why we lost this game.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, man.
I
I
respect it.
think terrific series, very entertaining series, man. Although, and the thing is, yeah, like I do think that the Knicks were just straight up the better team, specifically because I think they matched San Antonio defensively and offensively. They just are better, like clear cut better, in my opinion. I do think it would have been interesting to see a fully healthy OKC team against the Knicks, because obviously they have shooters coming off the bench. They have guys like Jerry McCain. I do think Lou Dort minutes would have definitely been a crime against humanity. But all those things being said, though, fantastic series. I think it was fun. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of those early Lakers Nuggets series when
Oh yeah.
Lakers fans would come in like, "Yo, guys, like if we do this, you know what I'm saying?" And every game would be competitive, but you lose in 5 games. You know what I'm saying? Like it's or losing 4 games. You know what I'm saying? So
For
it
real.
reminded me
That,
of that on
yeah,
some
it
level,
was
which I think is funny.
it was just like that.
That's real.
It really was just like that, bro. And like that's been as a LeBron fan, like that's been his best shot to get to the finals since the bubble year. And it was the same way. They led the majority of the series, but when it was time to like make something happen, bro, then Jokic or Jamal Murray would hit some crazy shot. Like it was just when it was crunch time, they made the right play, and that's really what happened to the Spurs, man. And it was definitely sad to see because you shouldn't. Those are horrific games to lose when you're up 14, 15, 16, 30 points in a game and then you lose, like, and you can hear like I'm kind of angry, or like you can hear the anger in my voice. I'm not a Spurs fan, like that. That's just unacceptable. It's like as a fan of sport, but I will say that's one of the most entertaining finals we've had
Good
And
finals. Good
in a
finals.
while. Like as a series as a whole, every game was competitive. There were no blowouts. It's been a while. Like
I
I
think
would
the
say it's been
NBA
in 2016.
NBA is like we're in a good spot right now. Like it's not
Oh yeah.
a there's not a Golden State. There's not here we go again. But we're just in a good spot. Like the Knicks won this year. I really don't think everybody's saying the Knicks are going to go back to back. It's just like they're not going to allow that happen twice, unless
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson does what he has to do. But I don't see that happening. They'll get back to the playoffs. But
Yeah.
as an NBA, I feel like we're in a better spot now. Like competitive Eastern Conference, well in the West, competitive finals. Like we're okay right now. Like we just got to keep going up.
Yeah, I think yeah, I mean like if in this we've had 8 different champions since like 2019 if I'm not mistaken. But also
Hmm.
like in the 2020s, the large markets in the NBA, the Lakers, the Celtics, the Golden State Warriors now, and of course now the Knicks. They've all won championships within this era. You know what I'm saying? And obviously that didn't stop a team like OKC from winning a championship, a team like Denver from winning a championship. These smaller market teams. So I do think that we're in a fantastic spot, and I think that this finals, I do think it is really a moment for the NBA, man. That you had the new face of the league against one of the largest markets in basketball, and I think the NBA did a great job of marketing it. I've been very critical of the NBA over the past few years when it comes to presentation and things like that, but I do think that they executed the finals extremely well this year. So shout out to ESPN for once. You know what I'm saying? Shout out y'all boys, man.
Hmm.
And I do think the Knicks will definitely get back at least to the second round, if not the conference finals again.
Yeah.
Um,
We'll see.
depending on where, depending on what moves happen, like Detroit is still a threat if they get another score with Cade.
Yeah.
Um, Cleveland, I don't know.
Nah, we
No.
don't
We gotta
talk
see
about
who gets
we don't
Cleveland.
talk about the
we
Cleveland.
gotta
analytical
see.
thing.
Yeah.
No, 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 no. If
Oh,
they
sorry.
get somebody else, maybe. But like somebody else has to get put on the team. I don't think
It has
they're
to be
going
it has to
back
be
to
a Giannis though. It has to be a
Yeah,
Giannis.
I
Somebody like
agree.
to that magnitude.
yeah.
It can't be LeBron because LeBron is getting older, unfortunately. Like Cleveland's in a weird spot. Like they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, but they kind of took a step back just the way how they lost. And James Harden, like
Yeah,
next.
That's a big thing. What do you do with Harden? You just got him. You know what I'm saying? What do you do with Harden?
They only got half a season with him, bro.
Yeah. So imagine a full will get worse.
Yeah, the
So
letdown will be even bigger. It's sad to see, I will say, but I think a healthy Boston still gives the Knicks a run. I
yeah,
don't
for
think they're
sure,
fully healthy.
for sure.
Um, I think where Giannis goes, if Steph leaves, I think those are all very interesting things that could shake up the league. What they do with De'Aaron Fox, what the Spurs do, because there's no way after that finals you can have Dylan Harper coming off the bench again.
Yep.
At
That's
all.
not gonna happen. And then who am I missing? Oh, Kyrie. Kyrie can still play, man. He's not gonna be your first option, but if they trade him to a finals team or like a contending team, I think it'll be good, bro. I think like if Kyrie went to the Pistons, they already won 60 games this year.
That's a good
That's a
point.
threat in the East because the East is weak.
Yeah, it is weak. But Kyrie, yeah, who knows where Kyrie's gonna go? He just ever since Cleveland bouncing
I think he's
around.
gonna stay in Dallas. I
Think
think he
so?
likes Cooper Flag. I think he like, and I really, and I honestly, I like Cooper Flag. You know what I'm saying?
He's
He can't.
solid.
What they say? You know, I pledge allegiance to the flag. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think he's solid. I think it would be best if he stayed in Dallas. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of stuff to clean up there, but you know, with him healthy, I do think that they, you know, playoff team, playing team, get the young guys some experience. You know what I'm saying? So I hope he stays in Dallas at least. I'm tired of like specific players moving. Although like I don't want Curry to move. At this point, I just want LeBron to retire. You know what I'm saying?
Oh Lord.
You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah, bro. We need one more year.
for
Yeah,
what?
give me one
No,
more year, brother.
that's King James, bro.
Give me one more year,
No,
please.
did we not see him? Now they did get swept, but it wasn't his fault. We watched him, bro. We watched him be the best player on the floor for at least half of those games with the MVP on the floor.
Yes, yes,
How
yes.
old is
You
he?
can't just retire being that good, bro.
There you can.
He can't.
Like,
There you can.
I mean, you can't.
40,
I
you're
mean, you
45.
could, but like, I don't want him to.
Hey
Why
man, I
not?
think Braun gonna do what he wants to do. You know what I'm saying? That's Braun. You know, but like man, I have the opinion. Even if Luca playing, they still probably like might get swept. So like, what
Oh,
what are we doing? What are we doing? And I love Luca.
I got OKC
I'm a
in like
Luca
five. They would have
fanboy, bro.
won one game, bro.
I'm a
bring
Luca.
Giannis to the Lakers, man.
That would not happen.
That
Giannis, Curry.
I
It's
wouldn't
just
let that
money.
happen.
I'm money wise, that can't happen. That's
Yeah, that
not
can't
feasible
happen money
because
wise. Yeah,
they like
LeBron can pay him.
LeBron can
he
pay.
could under the
LeBron got the
table.
money for it.
Yeah.
Got a couple of dollars for you, bro.
Uh huh. A game.
I do want to say one
I
last thing
think
about this. Oh, you got it.
I'll just say this real quick. Also, the signings of Jalen Duren and
Mm.
Austin Reeves, those will have big impacts as well. Are they going to get
Yeah.
the max? Will they stay with the Lakers? Because are they going to be greedy and then just sign with like the Charlotte Hornets or somebody bad and just say, I'm going to get my 25 and my 50 million a year?
Hey, chill on the
I feel
Charlotte
like they
Hornets.
might.
Chill on who?
The Charlotte
Oh, yeah,
Hornets.
that is your team. Respect.
He
Respect.
said chill.
I still love Melo, though. I like Miles Bridges, best
All right.
NBA rapper.
Not Dame Lillard.
Hmm?
Dame Lillard's up there.
Yeah,
Dame Lillard
they're a
is still
team.
playing basketball. That's a good point.
Yeah.
I will say really quickly though, last thing. I do not think. Oh, yeah, I do not think that like this series is. I don't think this season is a failure for the Spurs. I don't think it should be seen as one. They did not make the playoffs last year. A lot of people thought, oh yeah, they might be a playing team, a middle of the pack team. Obviously, they won over 60 games. They made it to the finals. And although, you know, a lot of people are going to start saying, and I've seen them start saying, well, they didn't play a fully healthy Nuggets team. By the way, I just want to remind people that Nuggets team Nikola Jokic lost to. Just want to be clear about that. The some people who like to claim that's the best player in the world lost to that guy lost to that team in 6 games. So like let's have complete context. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let's be honest, on all sides.
You know, let's be very honest. And obviously went to 7 games to the reigning and defending champions who were injured, but they were the more inexperienced team, and they found a way to get a win on the road in Game 7. So lots of talent on this team, lots of possibility. I do think that they should, overall, Spurs fan. Although this is heartbreaking, don't get me wrong. You guys have the record for most blown, double digit leads to the playoff runs. You know what I'm saying? I do think, pat yourself on the back.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is his first playoff run. They'll be better. I'm not gonna say like, oh, they'll be back. You never know. I mean, Wemby will
Yep.
be back in his career. I definitely do think that. I just don't. I don't know if it'll be next year. We'll have to see.
Mm.
Because OKC still has a whip. I don't care. Like that team is still very good. And then they have 2 lottery picks.
They're,
Mhm.
they're
And
they're gonna be solid. They just won't go. They won't. I don't think they'll. They definitely won't go 82-0, and they definitely
Yeah.
won't see.
Segue.
I don't think.
good segue.
I don't think they'll be beat the Thunder again that in that fashion. We'll see.
No, I think if J-Dub plays, they lose that series.
Hey
It's over.
man,
Yeah.
it's a great point. But hey man, my mythology is that Chad, this is year 3 of 1B, year 1 of Dylan Harper, and year 2 of Stephon Castle. Just like how J Dub is gonna get better and Chet is gonna get better, so are those guys. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so
Be
it's
mindful.
be mindful. Um, let's. He said 82-0, which we play a game here called 82-0. Do you want me to share or you?
I'm pulling it up right now.
Got you.
We got our
Well, we
game
play,
82 and 0, man.
yes.
Oh
Um,
shoot. Okay.
basically, have you played before, Jerry?
I have not.
All right, so basically, you spin the wheel, it'll give you an era and a team, and you got to make the best team possible with. They gave me like you see how they gave me the 2010s Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah.
This is
Okay.
not that great, and so you have to make a team based on their stats and positioning. Like you can put Luca at point, shooting guard, or small forward, and you have to make the best team out of the guys that they give you and try to get a record of 82 and 0. You have one
Okay.
spin with you can redo the team or the era. So since I started it, I'll go first, but I feel like uh, I already want to redo the era. I'm not gonna lie, because Luca's only getting 21. This is not peak Luca or peak Dirk. Watch me get like the 60s. I'm gonna be pissed.
Oh
90s.
Lord.
They fried me, bro. I'm about to get Jamal Mashburn, bro. This is a
Oh my
terrible start.
God.
This is what I get for going first. Yuck. New team, bro. I already used my spins. Bro,
DeMarcus Cousins though.
that is true. I mess with Boogie heavy, but still. Oh my God.
It's horrible teams.
Yes, it is. This team is going 50 and 30, 50 and 32. Like, bro, they just gave me the 90s that's the Wizards, Warriors. Bro, I'm not winning anything. They couldn't give me at least the 2000s where they had young Steph. I haven't even gotten a legend yet. Shout out to Marcus Cousins, though.
D'Angelo
D'Angelo Russell
Russell.
being the best player on the Nets is sad. God damn it. This is terrible. This team is might only win 50 games. Not even. But this is a pack of mid. All right, we put Paul George. Paul George only averaged 18 points
In what? 2000.
and then like the for the whole 2010s.
That got to be off because he was in his bag. But
Yeah,
oh,
54
it,
and
it
20.
gave you that 40, 54 and 28. That's what they came up with.
Yeah, so like it will project your record and like based on the teams that you had, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So yeah, rough stuff.
Yeah,
Jerry or Drew? Who wants to go next, bro? Because that was a terrible first go, man.
I'll go next.
All right, man. If
Ben.
you get some good stuff, like you get a Michael Jordan or a LeBron, I'm genuinely gonna be pissed.
All right.
Bad. We can
You
respin the
got
era if it's mine. We can
yeah.
respin the era.
You can
All
read
right, bro.
this bit there.
How about this? This is a solid team. Okay.
You got the
Give me Bird. Give me Bird as my power forward.
old bird.
Oh boy, you're about to have a good team. Watch.
I love that.
This is about to piss me off, bro. Dallas
Dallas.
2000s.
Oh
Okay.
my
Give me
God,
Bird as my power forward.
you got a
You
good
got
team.
Pete.
You already got like plus 500 right there.
Yeah, bro. You got a better team than me already off two
Philly
spins.
the '60s. Oh, give me
Oh
Wilt
my
as my
God,
Like,
center. Give
bro,
me Wilt as my center.
are we
yo,
serious, bro?
Give me Wilt as
27
my
and
center.
24 is crazy.
This
That
is
is
not
insane.
even the peak version of Will. I've seen it where he gets like 41 and like 20.
Okay. Oh,
Bro, are we
give
serious?
me Steph as my point. Give me Steph as my point.
Oh,
This is some
you
bullshit.
could have only went big though
Point.
and got
Here's the
KD,
point.
but then
I would have gotten KD,
Not a
but
lot of
that's
defense
bad.
being played on this team, but I'm okay with that.
you're scoring the ball though.
Yeah, we scoring. We
You better get Braun.
Overly
Oh,
scored.
70s. Okay, cool. Just give me Austin Carr. You know what I'm saying? A
You
cool
know,
60.
you have one more spin, by the way.
Oh, I can do team, right? Oh, dude,
Yeah.
then give me team.
Ah,
Damn. Then give me John Williamson. He averaged 23.
who is this?
I don't
yeah, I
know.
don't know who this.
Bulls offense. Bro.
Damn, that's all right.
Here go
739.
Warriors.
Bro, that's some BS. He
739.
got Curry, Bird, um, Dirk, and Will Chamberlain. He got
Damn.
lucky. He would have had 82 and 0, bro, if he didn't get that last team. All right, Jerry, it's your turn, man.
Talk to me. Spin that wheel. Oh,
Okay.
mother.
Good start.
I'll
Game changer
go.
or go
Yeah,
for it.
change team.
Team?
Cool. I can't do that.
No, you
No, you
can.
can't. I'm saying
I'm just like, you want to
you
change
only
the
have
team?
one spin though.
Yeah, change team. I feel good about this.
All right.
I told you I feel
Damn.
good about this. KD.
Damn.
I'm cursing this episode, Mom. This is some bullshit. He got KD first one, bro.
You probably
So
not
you
getting
have
anything
one
better.
more era spin. I don't know if you want
I'll
to do that.
do change the era. Change the era. Change the era.
Oh, off right. Okay.
All right.
Feeling good. Oh my god. Oh, 2000.
Did we not get
I'll
Tyrese?
go.
Tyrese.
I'll go. Pascal at the
Okay.
4.
Oh,
All
right.
right. Bro. Pascal Siakam. That's not bad. Pascal and KD on a real life team, I feel like is more scarier than the box score. Ray Allen.
Ray Allen at the
Jerry
2.
I don't remember at all seeing Jerry Payton play for the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, Drew probably got the best team depending on these next two. Okay, Bob. I'll go Bob.
27 and 16, bro. Are you
Go
serious?
Bob.
Hey,
It depends who I get here. If I get Jordan, I'm winning. What? Oh,
Damn.
I guess I gotta go Brian Shaw.
Chauncey Billups played for the Celtics.
My team isn't good though. Compared to
63
Hey,
wins.
not
man.
bad. Not bad.
Hey, man.
Bro, I had him last, bro.
AJ, you got the worst team.
That's a BS, bro. That's a first roll luck, bro. I'm about to play this when we get off stream, bro. I can't go out like that. But Drew, Jerry, any final thoughts?
Brad, it was an interesting. Well, first, thanks for y'all for having me. Definitely got to do this again. Interesting basketball season. Can't wait for more. Football's next.
Mm.
So hey, let's talk. Let's talk sports.
Definitely have you back in football, bro. Football, I, that's gonna be a great time. I'm not gonna lie. When
Yeah.
football comes back, things are just right with the world. Especially
Mm.
the Bears are good this year too, so
Yep. Oh yeah.
made it
Yeah.
made it better.
Yep.
So I'll definitely be back for that. Um, any hot takes for the football season right now?
Um,
Mm.
is that a hot take to say that the Giants won't be good? Is that a hot take? I feel like that's a pretty lukewarm take.
It's like a medium,
Oh,
luke, kind of like lukewarm. You feel me? Like there's
I
always a
think.
possibility of the Giants being bad.
Ooh, my hot take: the Green Bay Packers will not make the playoffs this year.
Mm. The Eagles will lose in the first round of the playoffs this year.
That's not even crazy.
Now what?
Yeah. I mean, I think y'all know mine already. Caleb will be the first 4,000-yard passer in Bears history. I feel like I'm actually quite confident in that. Um,
You got
and
to push
Ruben
the needle.
Burden might go for 1K.
You got to push the needle farther. You got to say Caleb will win MVP. You can't just be
I'm
like,
not
well,
saying that. I'm
he'll
not
throw for
saying that.
4,000. You got to push the needle farther. Caleb's
Nah,
winning MVP. You got to say
after
that.
I gotta watch the first two games. If Caleb is accurate, like he's not throwing for 58%, I'll stand on it. I need to see it first. That's all I need to see. The stats are there. He just needs the completion percentage higher. We need more touchdowns. Mind you, my team still has never had a 30 touchdown season ever. You can't win the MVP with less than 30 TDs. So I just have to
Mm.
see it first. But by like week three, like we play the Eagles week three. We blow out the Eagles like we did last week. I'm for it. I'm for it. So we're gonna revisit this when the season start. But you might hear some crazy shit if like the season goes how I predicted it. I'm not gonna lie. Only teams I'm scared of are the Rams.
Yeah.
Every team in the NFC West not named the Cardinals. I'm not gonna lie.
Fair.
But yeah, man, it was a good episode, Jerry. We appreciate you for coming on,
Absolutely.
man. Um, everybody, thank you for tuning into the breakdown. It's been fun. Once again, I'm Austin Johnson.
And I'm Drew Covington.
And thank you to our
Jeremiah.
guest, Jeremiah Williams. And we'll see y'all in the next one.